Hey guys, how's it going? This is Natenator, and welcome to a video that I wasn't really expecting to do, but you guys have just been so awesome, like just all the time. Like I've got a huge smile on my face and I'm really happy because you guys already know what this is. This is a Q&A, questions and answers video. And I never thought that I'd really get the reception that I did, but this is a, let's call it a celebratory milestone video because probably like sometime last week we hit 28,000 subscribers, and that was just like absolutely mind-blowing to me. Where like, it means a lot to me, you know? And you guys are just freaking awesome. It's all on you guys, so I wanted to like bring it back. So instead of just like doing everything like normal, this video I wanted to include you guys and bring you up on the screen so everyone can see you and you can see you and I can talk to you, instead of just sort of like in my Nate talks where I just do rambling and I sort of talk about things that I want to talk about. This time I'm talking about what you guys want to talk about, so I think that that's awesome. I've got little notes here so that I don't go off track too much, but I'm going to try and keep it pretty loose. So this might be a pretty long video, or it might not be that long, but I got quite a lot of questions, and thank you guys for submitting. So let's do this. First question of the first questions and answers on Natenator77 channel is from Crystal Wallace, who says, "What's your favourite thing about living in Australia? Pics are always so pretty." Well, I had to think about this, and it's kind of hard to say what my favourite thing is about living in Australia, and I narrowed it down to basically just being in a safe environment. I don't know if that sort of makes any sense to you guys, but I hear some stuff about, like, in America or like in other countries, it's not, like, you can't really trust people outside or whatever. Like, you can't go out at night because you might get shot or you might get mugged or something. Like, that still happens here in Australia, but I don't know, I feel like I can go outside with peace of mind. Like, I can fall asleep on the train and I don't think that I'm gonna get raped or some shit. I don't know. All I know is that Australia is a beautiful country and it's safe, and that's basically why I like it a lot. There's lots of opportunity as well, which is cool. But yeah, that's that question. Now, I'm literally, this is pretty bad setup, but I'm just gonna hit the next button. So, question number 2 comes from Ted Jones. "Hey Nate, are you still going to college or are you done with that? PS, I do like both intros." Smile face. So, let's see, I actually am still going to college, guys. I think that a couple of you guys asked me that, but I've got different variations of the answer. But right now I'm going to college at the Academy of Interactive Entertainment in Sydney, Australia that is. And yeah, I'm still in it. And I am definitely planning to continue with it. And thanks as well. Both intros, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to be going back to the original intro eventually. But like I said in my last Nate Talks, I just want to let this new intro run its course, if that sort of makes sense. Yeah, so next question. From June Clements. "Hey, you gonna keep playing Rule of Rose, smiley face?" And the answer to that is a very strong yes. I know that not many of you guys really care about my gameplays that much. I sort of do it more for me and the few people who enjoy them. But I have to get it off my chest. Rule of Rose is a son of a bitch to play. I don't get much enjoyment out of playing it sometimes because the gameplay is just absolutely frustrating. Like, you can die and get sent back like 20 minutes of gameplay, and all it takes is like some artificial difficulty where like you miss and then they hit you and then you die and then you're back 20 minutes again. And yeah, I don't know, that's a pain. Walking like for a million years is a pain. But I love the story, I love the game. I just think that I needed some time to just take a break from it. I don't know when I'm going to pick it up again, but when I get inspired to do it, I'll probably let you guys know. So thanks for that question. Next question comes from Catalira Mirais. I really hope that I'm pronouncing these right because I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm not good with names. So, the question is, oh, I wish you were coming to Texas. Do you think one day you might like to? So, personally, I've never heard a single thing about Texas. Like, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know anything besides like stereotypes and jokes that I heard when I was a kid where everything's big in Texas or whatever. But the thing is, I've got absolutely nothing against Texas and I love America, so I'm thinking that I'm definitely going to go there one day when I have time and money to. So yeah, maybe I might be going there, so keep that in mind. But then again, I'll probably end up going to everywhere in America one day. Maybe that's like a little bucket list thing for me. But yes, question number 5. Oh my god, how will I even pronounce this name? I'm just going to say what it looks like because I think it's Russian, but they sort of look like letters from the English alphabet. Ibran Henkonaib. He is going to very love this video. Do you have a SoundCloud channel? I do have a SoundCloud channel, and it's also called Natenator77, but I don't use it. Like, I don't make music. I don't really follow, anyone on SoundCloud. I literally sort of only use that account because I'm on a subreddit called Hip Hop Heads. I don't know, I don't think anyone's interested in that, but it's basically like, it tells you when new songs come out, and they post it on SoundCloud, and then I can view it and like it. That's about it. So thank you. Question number 6. Ralph Salazar asks, when did you start your YouTube channel? And if ever, when do you see yourself stopping YouTube? #Q&A. So, basically, I started my YouTube channel in April 2009. I have a reason for why I started my channel, but I'm going to answer that in a question later on down the track. But I can tell you that I uploaded my very first video in 2012. I think it was in October, maybe. I feel that's right. And if I stop YouTube, I'm thinking that it will either be because I'm in a super stressful job and I have absolutely no time for it, in which case I'd probably still upload, but only just very super infrequently. Like, it might only be like once a week or once a month or something. But another reason I might stop would be if I'm like, if I get too old for it. But then again, I feel like the older I get, like the better my voice will be, if that makes sense. I know that when I started, I think I was like 16, 18, something around that level. And now I feel like my voice has really progressed since then. Like, sorry guys, I've got people coming in and out in my shared apartment. They sort of do that, but I don't really want to cut this out. I want to keep this live. But anyway, yeah. So, I don't know. When I get older, maybe I won't have the same, like, ability to continue reading for long periods of time. But I feel like it might be a better thing, not a bad thing. And the only other reason would be if I died, maybe. So there you go. Now the next question, I believe, is a really long one, and this one comes from Diana Lara. Now she's written a whole lot of stuff that I've already read and answered, so I'll just skip straight to the questions. And you guys can read it because it's up on screen right now. The questions for the Q&A part 1. What is my top 5 in horror movies? That is a really good question, and I've compiled them together here. I don't know if it's like the perfect list. I don't really watch that many horror movies, and you guys can definitely suggest some to me if you'd like. But I'm going to say number 5 is The Conjuring. Honestly, I can't really remember what happens in it, but I remember I really liked it, so that's a really flaky reason. But anyway, number 4 would be Hush. I watched that recently and I thought that was a really interesting take on just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. All I know is that if you're home alone and you're sort of like out of town, not so much close to, you know, whatever, and you're sort of living alone or with someone else, I would probably recommend not watching that movie because it will probably make you very paranoid. Number 3, Banshee Chapter. This is the one I was talking about in the Nate Talks, but I don't know, I watched it, I was not expecting anything out of it, and it just freaked me the hell out. If you're looking for good jump scares and a really tense atmosphere, maybe not the best acting or the best storyline, but just a really like solid horror movie, I'd probably recommend Banshee Chapter. Number 2, It Follows. Now, I feel like people think that this movie is really like overrated, and I think so too. But all I can say is that this movie had just such an excellent score. Like, I love the music, the compositing, like the lighting was like on point. I love that. And it was just really unsettling. And I don't think that there were that many like crazy jump scares, and as someone who's like a scaredy cat, I enjoy not getting scared like super. So when it's just like really tense, then that's good for me. And my number 1 is definitely The Evil Dead, the original one. And that's just because, I don't know, I think it might have been one of my first horror movies I ever watched. And it may not be all that scary, and it definitely is a bit goofy, but I like that. I like being able to laugh and then get scared and then laugh again, you know? So there you go. That's my top 5. Maybe you guys can post your top 5s in the comments below if you'd like. So part 2 of this question is, how did you get started with the idea of reading creepypastas? So I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it many times after now. My inspiration to read creepypastas basically stemmed from my love of Cryaotic, the other YouTuber guy, Cry. I just loved his voice and I wanted to mimic that on my channel. I just wanted to be like someone that other people would look up to more on, like, I don't know, just for my voice, not so much because I look great or anything like what other YouTubers sort of do. Third part of this question, how old am I? I am currently 21 years old, and my birthday is on the 11th of March 1995, so there you go. Wait, this isn't the last question. Fourth part. You added a photo on Twitter of your mic and computer, but I can't see your mouse pad. What is it about? I think it's anime? Well, you'd be right there, my mouse pad is anime. It's a Sword Art Online sort of picture on the mouse pad. It's of Kirito and Asuna. And I have I actually found a picture of the mouse pad, so that's up on screen now. And I also have a One Piece one, which I'm going to swap to when this one like gets too gross. But I couldn't find a picture of the One Piece one, so oh well. But it's really cool. Final question, will you ever show your face, lol? So the answer to this, I'm probably not going to show my face, but I can say that nothing's ever set in stone. Maybe if I get popular enough and it's like such a popular opinion that I show my face, then I might do that. But right now I feel like it sort of would ruin the point of this channel in a way, and that I was looking up to Cry in the way that he does that as well. And he's been doing this for years, so he never broke into the peer pressure. Anyway, thank you very much for those questions. We're going to move on. So we've got one from Miso Soup Go. Miso Soup. Okay. How do you have such an awesome accent? Where are you from? I feel like you told us, but I can't remember, or it's in the video and I missed it. So basically I'd say that I got my accent from my parents, because I've heard from a non-speaking, like a non-Australian person, that my parents have really, really strong Australian accents. So I probably got rubbed off from that. And probably a bit of like television, because I'm not so much Australian. I've got a little bit of American in there, maybe. But yeah, I'm from Australia, so there you go. That's what does it. Thank you. We've got another question from someone who's already asked, but I don't mind. We've got Catalira Mirais again, I hope I'm saying that right. Are you a Pokemon fan? And the answer to that is hell yes, I'm a Pokemon fan. So, I played Pokemon back in primary school. I don't really know what the years were, but I started on Pokemon Yellow, then Blue. I think that I might have done Green after I played Ruby, but I played Ruby like 5 or 6 times over from start to finish. And recently I skipped all the way to Pokemon Y, and I'm definitely getting Pokemon Moon. And here's a bit of useless trivia for you. My favorite Pokemon is Ninetales. So there you go. The next question comes from Alpha Bobcat. We're just going to skip to the question. As someone going into 3D animation, if that is still the case, are there any specific films or games that have influenced that choice or inspire you visually? So that's a really good question, thank you for that. I'm looking more into digital lighting and compositing for film these days. I was originally going into game, but now I swapped into film. And I do have some pretty solid inspirations, but I don't quite often draw from them. I just really enjoy those films, if anything. So Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, one of my absolute favorite movies. I love the lighting in that movie. Everything about it is just amazing. If you haven't seen it, you better go see it because it's damn good. And things that I plan to work on in the future, like all the high budget films that are going into the cinemas, like definitely Star Wars The Force Awakens. I don't know if you're not a Star Wars fan, I don't know how you can not like it, because it's just so beautiful. It's perfect, really. Like, you see it on the screen, and it's just all about those small details where you make a huge sci-fi ship or an alien planet, and you make it look real to the viewers, enough so that they don't question its legitimacy. They just say, alright, that's a ship, it's there, cool. Or they're like, I'm on fucking, the desert place, Jakku, and it's fucking, it's crap, but that's it, it's there. I don't question that. I don't question that Jakku isn't real. I hope I'm saying that right, because I already forget it. It's been ages. Anyway, that's my inspirations, really. So thank you. The next question comes from Street 31,000. Natenator, how tall are you? So, oh, my aircon thing is turning off. 1 second. So I just looked at the frickin' time thing. We're going for 18 minutes, almost 19. This is going to be a long-ass frickin' video, so hell yeah. Anyway, on to the answer for that question, how tall am I? I haven't really measured since I was in high school, but in year 12, so when I was 17, that was 3-4 years ago, I was 6 foot. Although I don't think I've grown too much since then, so maybe 6'1" if anything, but probably more around 6. Next question comes from Misguided Ghost. We're just going to jump straight to the questions, but thank you. How has your day been, number 1? So, let's see, today I haven't really done anything. I literally woke up, did my morning stuff, like had breakfast. Well, actually I didn't have breakfast, I had lunch, because I woke up at like 11. And I just started recording straight away, so my day's been pretty meh. I haven't done anything, but I'm planning on playing games after this, so it'll be better. Next question, are game playthroughs ever coming back? And in the same vein as what the other question was, they are definitely coming back and I'm just avoiding it at the moment because I'm lazy. Number 3, would you rather give up creepypasta or anime? Super cruel, I know, mahahaha. Honestly, this isn't really a hard question for me. I would definitely give up creepypasta because my reasoning is that I watch anime for pleasure. Like if I come home from a long day at work or whatever and I'm just tired, stressed, I'll just put on an anime show and I can relax. Whereas I don't really read creepypasta outside of doing the channel, so to me creepypasta feels a bit more like work. And it's not so much that I couldn't just read it to relax, but I feel like anime just has a lot more to offer, and I've got so many fond memories of like various anime that I've watched. I just don't think that I could give it up, really. So I'm sorry guys. Number 4. Any future plans for the channel? This is a good one actually. I've definitely got some things planned, really. So I don't know if I've told you guys yet, I'm sure I have, but I'm gonna say it again. I've written an original story, like an original creepypasta, and I plan to read it for the 30k sub special, and it'll have a very special guest narrator in it, but I'm not gonna spoil it. And eventually I'm gonna be bringing the old intro back like I said earlier, and probably get the games running again, show lots of more stuff to come, so stay tuned guys. The next question is, what's the latest anime you've seen? So I'm currently in the middle of the Monogatari series, which is a really cool show. Lots of fan service, but I really like the way it's presented and I think it's really cool. But I have to say I've put it on hold to watch Scrubs, and I'm really loving that. But I'm only at the end of season 2, so no spoilers please. The worst anime I've seen, next question. Worst anime I've ever seen would probably have to be Boku no Pico. And I know that it's all about, like, some people will argue that it's about art and making a statement and stuff, but realistically it's just fucking gross, so I didn't like it. Definitely the worst for me. Pretty boring too, I mean, like, you know, the characters were so flat. It's just like, oh no, I'm boring. So the whole thing was just boring. It literally was just about being so edgy that it would become popular. And that's what happened, so yep. Number 7. Have you seen the teaser for The Walking Dead game Season 3? Are you hyped as fuck for it? Because I am. So I'm gonna be honest, I have not seen the teaser, but I'm pretty sure that I am as hyped as it gets for that because of what you've just said, basically. Like, I'd really love to play that on my channel as well, but I sort of have a lot to catch up on, you know? Like, I gotta do Season 1 and 2, and then 3, and there's so many people who've already done it, you know? Maybe if you guys want me to play the whole series, let me know and I could get started after Rule of Rose. So we'll see about that one. Thank you for the questions, we're gonna move on. Okay, we've got another one from the same guy. This is Street 31000 again. Can you do some gameplay of Overwatch, and who's your favorite character? So, actually I did want to do some Overwatch gameplay on the channel, but it's kind of hard getting clips together because I'm not the best. Like, I do some good plays, but I never really just record, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just turn it on and go, alright, I'm gonna be sick this game. I just sort of like do a good play and I'm like, shit, I wish I'd been recording that. Yeah, but I definitely think that maybe in the future, if you guys ask for it, maybe let me know again. I know you've got a lot to write, but just, you know, just keep your comment bar open and just keep typing and then hit enter at the end. So, yeah. My favorite character's probably Reinhardt. Like, I really like being the big scary guy with the shield and everyone's like, oh shit. And like, I just feel like I just help everyone all the time and it's really cool. And I have to say that his Tengen Topper Gurren Lagann looking skin is freaking sick. I packed the red one, but I really wanted the green one. Black one. But yeah. Oh well. By the way, you guys can add me on Battle.net to play. I play on the PC. It's Natenator, hashtag 11296. So if you guys play Overwatch or even Hearthstone, then add me. Anyway, next question. Thank you for that. We are on to Christina Cable. So you want questions. Have you ever played Fatal Frame on PlayStation 2? So the answer to that is no. I haven't played Fatal Frame on PlayStation 2, but I have played Crimson Butterfly on an emulator. It was a really scary game. You can find my playthrough on this channel, actually, in my playlists. I guess I can throw a link in the description, but that's only if I remember, so mental note. Next question. This is from Creepypasta Goblin, at Natenator77, hashtag Nate's first Q&A. How did you get permission for the story of her holding an orange from that reclusive Redditor who wrote it? Okay, here we go. This one is a long story. I don't know if you guys have seen my reading of this. I did it so long ago. I think it was actually back in 2012 maybe. So basically, I sent the author a message on Facebook. I got the all clear, I read the story, like literally, in terms of answering that, getting permission was easy for me. I just said, hey, you know, I want to read your story, this is my channel, can I read it? And the guy was like, yeah, sure. So, I want to tell the rest of the story though, for the people who miss the story of her holding an orange ending and are like, why aren't you finishing it, you know? Basically, this is the story. There were 6 parts in that story, all on creepypasta.com. They were all open, the author gave me, you know, permission to read it, but the ending was a big cliffhanger on the 6th part. And it said that the true ending was in an ebook that you could buy on Amazon. So I was a real freaking idiot back then. I didn't understand copyright. I thought that if I bought the ebook with my own money, I'd be allowed to read the ebook on my channel. But this was rightfully, the author hit me with a copyright strike and I took the extra parts down. So that's fine, that's perfectly fine, I understand that. I thought that would be the end of it, but then apparently someone posted the true ending in the comments of the 6th part, which I was allowed to upload, but I didn't see that. And I don't know how, but the author saw it, and then they hit me with another copyright strike. Now, these were the first 2 copyright strikes I'd ever gotten on YouTube, and for those of you who don't know, if you get 3, your channel gets automatically closed down, no questions asked, you can't fight it, and that's it. So I was on 2 strikes, almost having my channel closed down, and I was spooked as hell. Like, I was like, I'm fucked. Like, I don't know what's going on. I was kind of pissed. I even sent the guy a message. I was like, hey dude, why did you hit me with another copyright strike? And he was just like, oh, someone posted the true ending in the comments of the last video. And I was like, well, why am I getting, like, I don't know, punished for that? And he just said, I don't know, I sent it on the person, but it must have come back to you. And then literally after that, I couldn't be bothered. I deleted the 6th video, and I was like, I'm not playing with that anymore. I don't want to get fucked. And 6 months later, the strikes went away, and I'm all good now. But I just decided to leave that story alone. Like, I feel like it's bad juju. I just want to leave it. And that's fine. It's a story. Lets me have something to talk about. So yeah. Sorry about that, guys who wanted to see the ending. Next question. This is from Maria, or at Miss_Scorpia 1101. At Natenator77, I like cooking, so I'm always curious about what a person's favorite meal is. So, Nate, what's your favorite meal? Hashtag Nate's first Q&A. Okay, so, since you asked my favorite meal and not just food, I'll answer this question by saying that my favorite dinner would, like, because dinner is probably my favorite time to eat, and it consists of an entree of garlic bread and a main of a burger with beer battered chips, because that is literally enough to make me perfectly content. So it's super straightforward. I'm just a simple guy with simple tastes. I don't know, like foreign and all this like exotic food, I like that stuff, but I'm just so fine with just, you know, regular Western stuff. Anything is fine to me. So thank you for that. Whoa, we got peeps coming in again. Cool. So this next question comes from, oh my god, here we go. Nicole Schadenfreude, maybe that's how it's pronounced, I don't know. That's at N Schadenfreude. You can see it on there. Follow if you want. Up to you. At Natenator77, hashtag Nate's first Q&A. How old are you? So that's the first question. So from what I can see, I'm still 21 at the moment. Next question is, what is your favorite video game? So my favorite video game is probably The Last of Us. I thought it was just, I don't know, it was just a perfect game. The presentation, the story, absolutely fantastic. I was hooked on the characters. I actually cared about them, unlike some games. And yeah, it was just like an incredible experience overall. Like personally, I love games that are more about the experience, with like a good story, good plot, and the gameplay falls into the backseat. So another one like that is Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon. It falls into the same category, you know, like it's just more about the story and how beautiful the game is, more so than great gameplay. But then again, if you asked me what game I liked in terms of just gameplay, like the amount of fun I can just have over and over, I have to say that Metal Gear Solid 5 tops the chart all the time. Like, that game is just fucking crazy. You can never get bored in that game. You'll just sit down, you'll be like, alright, I've been playing for 5 minutes, what's the time? Oh shit, it's fucking 2 in the morning. I gotta go to bed. So what inspired you to narrate? I have mentioned this before, but I was definitely and truly inspired by Cry. I think that he's just a freaking incredible guy. I've loved him and his channel and his content for just ages, like years now. And I just sort of looked up to him, you know? Like, he was the senpai and I wanted to be like him and him to notice me. And yeah, at the start, I guess I decided to try and make my voice sound like his, but I guess eventually I sort of grew out of that and developed my own sort of style, which I'm glad for. And the final question, do you plan on doing a face reveal? Once again, I'll answer, I don't really plan on it, but it might happen one day in the very distant future if like all the stars align or something, you know? So yeah, thank you. This one comes in from Raina Lewington, at Raina Wrote This. So, at Natenator77, what got you into drawing? So I think this is a pretty interesting question. I have not drawn in a long time personally, but I used to be pretty into it. And what got me into drawing, I'd probably say it would have to be like my mum, because I never personally enjoyed drawing, but I think I just had like a little natural talent at it. Like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but back in high school I took visual arts, and I just had a knack for looking at something and being able to draw it like pretty decently with a pencil. And you know, like I couldn't color it. Like if I colored it, it would look like shit. I couldn't use anything else besides just plain pencil. And I never really practiced or anything. I could just do it. And my mom thought that was good, so she just sort of like urged me on, but eventually I got over it, so yes, that is that question. Besides my mom, I guess I could say that it might have been when I used to like doodle things like in the margins of my book in class. Like I do that all the time back in the day. But who knows. Stuff happens. Thank you. The next question comes in from Deadly Horror, at Deadly Horror 1. So at Natenator77, what got you to start narrating? So, once again, we've got this question, but I'm going to answer it in a different way this time. Sort of like, I think that some of you guys have heard this story, like in a Nate Talks or an announcement maybe, but you could twist this question into saying I got into narrating by making a YouTube channel in the first place. So, back in 2009, I was on my phone, watching this channel called The Gradual Report, and I was watching on my phone on Wi-Fi, and this guy, I think his name's Danny. Yeah, that's right, Danny from The Gradual Report. He makes really funny stuff. I haven't watched him in years, but back then it was like absolutely hilarious. Like he did like little experiments, science experiments with like funny drop-ins. I feel like he was doing the Ray William Johnson type thing where you like pop all around the screen, have different voices and stuff. But I hadn't heard of that before, so this was the first time I was exposed to that. And I thought it was so damn funny. I just wanted to say to him, like, you know, I love your stuff. You know, it's so funny. But I couldn't because I needed to make a channel. Like, I had to sign in. Like, they didn't have Google Plus back then. They were just like, make a channel. And then, you know, you can comment and like and all that stuff. So I did that and I commented. And that's basically how I got on YouTube and then eventually how I got into narrating. So, bang. Another question down. Thank you. This next one is from Elliot Swan. Hey, Natenator. How old are you? So, I've answered this one once again. I'm pretty sure I'm still 21. But there's another question. What degree or subject matter are you pursuing in college/university? So the answer to this one, I'm currently in an advanced diploma of screen and media, which is just making art for film basically. It covers all things from compositing to 3D modeling, texturing, animating, concept art, storyboarding, previs, story writing, making screenplays, rigging, so on, so on, so on. All in all, I'll eventually be working on the movies that everyone gets to see on the big screen, and that's what, like, my whole goal is, so that's what the subject matter is, basically. That's the aim. So, thank you. The next question comes from Dreamer Jen at Green-Eyed Vamp 69. At Natenator77, hashtag Nate's first Q&A. Okay, had to go through all the questions first, haha. Here goes. What scares you, Nate? So, I've got all the generic fears like everyone else. Generic, I said that weird. Like I've got the fear of heights, which I'm definitely getting better at now, but it's instead of just being scared of heights in general, it's now more about when I'm unrestrained up high. So, to explain that, if I'm in a skyscraper, like at the top floor, that's not really scary to me, because, you know, you got the roof, you got the walls, like, the only thing in my mind is, like, logically, if the building collapses, then I'm gonna fucking shit my pants and die. But, if the roof wasn't there and the walls weren't there and you were just standing up high on this unrestrained surface, that is really scary. Like, I don't know. I've been to the Grand Canyon once, and there's like this wooden fence thing there, which is literally just 2 poles and a plank, and you can just like hop over that easily and then just walk to the edge, jump off if you wanted to. But the point is that people stand at the edge there to get photos, or they like look over the edge, and that shit, I can't handle it. Like, I was sort of like grasping the plank like shit, anything, like I could just trip and fall and I'm done for. So, yeah, scares. What scares me? Heights do. Not really scared of the dark. I got over that a while ago. But if I was to be scared of the dark, it would be if I watched a really spooky movie. Like, let's say Banshee Chapter. I couldn't go outside to get a glass of water after that. I just stayed parched. That was it. But if I had to say my biggest fears, which, you know, they're still pretty generic, because I think everyone still says these, but I would say failure is big on that list. Like, not being able to perform in my current thing, you know, and like getting laid off or whatever, or not even getting a job at all, wasting my time and my life. Like, that's one of the biggest things that I'm worried about. I feel like, say if I got stuck in a job where I just hated everything, but I needed it to live, you know, the 9 to 5 grind thing, you've only got like 3 or 4 hours to yourself each like day, and then on the weekend you don't have much free time, and that shit, like, that scares me a lot. Like, I'm afraid of the future, like, hands down. And the last one would probably be just living and dying alone. That's probably the biggest fear of all of them, because I don't know, I just feel like you gotta share your experiences with people, and being alone would be like the, you know, one is the loneliest number. Pretty sad stuff there, but, you know, they all sort of come in a package together, you know, like failure, wasting time, and dying alone. It's sort of like, you know, it's all just one thing in general, but I don't know, it's super negative stuff. Let's try and end on a positive note, guys. So last question comes from Anime Fan. Now, I know you changed your name because I remember you from ages ago. I can't remember your name, I'm so sorry. I think it might have been Sean. That's gonna be crap if it's wrong, but anyway. Not sure if I'm too late, but what was the first anime you watched that got you really into it? So this is the lucky last question. The very first anime I watched that really got me into it would probably have to be Death Note. And I know that a lot of people are going to say that as well, but to explain, before this, I used to watch mainstream anime on television each day before school, like One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, all that crap. Well, not crap, I just sort of said that, but all that good stuff. But in terms of like the more underground stuff, more underground back then at least, there was a time, I don't know how it happened, but Death Note just got super popular and spread around like a virus at my school. And from what I've heard, like, it happened all around the world as well. So I was in year 9, I was 14 years old. Our year of class was the first year in Australia to get these Lenovo laptops that the governments were handing out at the time. I think they only did that for like 3 or 4 years, but the point of that was we were supposed to use them to study, but generally we just used them to play games. And one day my friend told me to watch this show, transferred it to my laptop, or we call them lappies, and I ended up watching the whole thing in about a week, which is really quick considering I was still in school and I only watched it late at night in bed. But yeah, I don't know, I just loved it back then. But I can say that I didn't really get into anime after that. That was just the first one that really got me into it in the terms of like, later on, like 2 years later, I watched an anime called Code Geass, and it was recommended by the same friend who recommended Death Note, but I loved Code Geass even more, and it reminded me of Death Note, and because I'd had a good experience with Death Note, I was able to literally just go, alright, anime is sick, I'm gonna watch more and more and more. Until today, where I'm just fucking weeaboo as fuck. So that's that. That is the end of the questions that you guys sent in. This has been 45 minutes long so far, so my throat is dying. But yeah, that was totally cool. Like, I really liked your questions, guys. I had fun answering it. I hope you guys learned something if you're still even watching this, because this is a long-ass video. But thank you very much for just being here, interacting with me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting. It all is just... it's just awesome, guys. Like, I feel like we really have our own community here. You all know me, I know you guys. And I hope that you guys get to know each other too, so... I will literally see you guys in the next piece of shit that I upload. So you guys stay tuned for more.